Wednesday, drought. No one would have realized that my heart was so parched and cracked, teetering on the verge of turning into ruins. Whether I sat still, doing nothing and looking at nothing, or threw myself into work, it kept parching miserably. Like a lump of dry soil crumbling in the palm of your hand at the slightest touch, like dust easily carried away by the wind. On the outside, I was fine. I smiled and told everyone I was happy, just as I always did. I said that every minute, every second of this life I was living was precious. But in truth, I didn't know what was precious or how to cherish it. I dreaded the thought of my desolate foundation being exposed, so I kept saying I was okay. I did my best to act as if nothing was wrong, separating my inside from my outside like that. I eventually forgot how to water myself, how to tend to the deep cracks that had silently split open within me. I want to wash with hot water. I want to wash. I have to wash. For days, my body didn't move at all as that thought echoed in my mind. When I finally peeled myself off the bed and turned to glance at the clock, something in the corner of the room caught my eye. It was the Araria tree I had nurtured with so much care for so long, a plant I'd fallen in love with at first sight, in a flower shop I'd stumbled upon and brought home, my only companion. Raising that Araria tree taught me something. Even nurturing a single plant isn't easy. I wanted to take good care of this little guy, the only living thing in my tiny 13-meter square space. I picked 2 days each week to water it and gave it as much attention as I felt love for it. But soon after, the Araria began to wither. The mistake of a novice gardener is always ignorant affection. Panicked, I searched online for ways to save the Araria. The problem was overwatering. The advice was, I had to let the plant dry out for a few days without giving it any water. I itched with the urge to water it, but I held back. Slowly, the Araria's leaves began to regain their vitality. Just as I was overcoming one hurdle, another problem appeared. This time, it was sunlight. My house faces south and gets plenty of sunshine, so I placed the Araria, which barely reached my calves, right in the sunniest spot by the window, hoping it would quickly grow as tall as my waist. But what the heck? The Araria leaves lost their beautiful green sheen and turned a dull, lifeless brown. When I touched them lightly, I heard the rustling sound of brittle, dry leaves. Then, the once lush foliage fell away in clumps. This time, the problem was too much sunlight. Another internet search told me that Araria trees grow best in semi-shade. It had been suffering because I'd given it too much light. I had almost killed this little guy several times. The failure of a novice gardener, again, was ignorant affection. But the Araria, having survived these life or death crises through my countless trials and errors, became like family to me. I wiped the dust off its leaves one by one, sprayed insecticide when bugs appeared. In the cold winter, I even pulled out the circulator I normally only used in summer, letting it gently air the plant. It was extraordinary care. The Araria grew quickly, as if it recognized my efforts. Before I knew it, it had reached the height of my waist. But when was the last time I had taken care of this plant I had once nurtured so tenderly? I got up and walked closer to it. There were so many dried and twisted leaves scattered across the parched soil. I cared for you so much, but you died too. I stared blankly at it, then wondered, how do you dispose of a dead plant? I'd spent so long searching for how to save, and now I found myself searching for how to dispose. That's when I stumbled upon this on a blog. Before you throw away a dead plant, lightly scratch the stem with your fingernail. If the stem is green, it's still alive. Give it some love and nurture it again. Even when all the dry leaves fall, new ones will bloom beautifully. It looked like a dead tree, but could it still be alive? Half in doubt, I scratched the Araria stem with my fingernail. Between the scratched bark, the delicate green flesh was clearly visible. I cradled this fragile, waist-high plant in my arms and carried it straight to the bathroom. I turned on the shower and began to water it. Even the few remaining leaves that had clung to life fell away under the rushing water. But the belief that it was alive didn't leave me. I drenched the Araria, and before I knew it, I was soaked too. I placed the Araria carefully on one side of the bathroom, then peeled off my wet clothes. Turning the shower knob, I let the water run hot until it poured down, dripping evenly from my head to my toes. The water flowed down my entire body. This warmth felt like a gift. Because I didn't even know how long it had been since I last showered. I watered myself again and again until the bathroom was filled with hot steam. That's how I decided to live with this plant again. 있어요. 네, 마음이 힘들 때도 많고, 근데 힘들 때가 있으면 좋은 것 같아요. 힘들면 나중에 그 행복한 감정들은 더 행복하다고 생각합니다. 그래서 네, 좋은 것 같아요. 힘든 시간들은 모든 사람은 다 있는데 이겨내는 거는 너만 할 수 있어. 할 수 있고 항상 너의 옆에는 우리가 있어서 걱정 안 해도 되고 시간 지나가면 잘 될 거니까 할 수 있어. 네, 여러분 수요일에 책을 다 읽었는데 이거 들어줘서 너무너무 감사하고요. 오늘도 잠을 잘 자고 내일도 열심히 일하자. 사랑해.